Hi, Brent here. Today, I wanted to share with you the importance of being trustworthy. It is really the leverage in your success and foundational at this. And to get trust, your life has shown the integrity and have ethics, so to speak. But these cannot be really fake, right? So whenever you do like service or your product, like let's say if you wanted to make money and then become successful, what people look for is that those things actually works. And then everybody has to take some kind of leap of faith that these things are actually good, or you're not being lied to, and so forth. So whereas that the lower that those barriers that people jump across, you're more in demand, right, so to speak. So that's where the trust comes in. And there's a lot of people that actually use the trust to like twist it, like and scam people, right? But that's a whole like I would say most of the scams are based on how to gain your trust and rip you off. But I don't want you to conflate these type of. I don't want you to use that such a powerful things to nefarious activities. And unfortunately, when you look at the world, like in a political situation, like and especially you can see a lot of corruptions and frauds going on, and people actually get in power and become very wealthy. And you might think, this kind of taking advantage of trust will pay off. And small minority of people might get there. That's not how the world works. And I mean, there is always a police and like a thieves. That's been going on for millennia, probably since the beginning of humanity. So we can't really change it. All you can do is, if you want to go to this kind of like a scammy or corrupt way to live, like using the trust to make the people's life negative, then I would say you might make it. Generally speaking, you might make it for temporarily, but then eventually something will caught up. And then this is the problem of this type of living, using the trust to as a nefarious purpose, is that there is things called karma. And the karma is basically it's a law of nature. Like if you give a push, you get to get a pull. So if you do something really shitty things to other people, probably it'll come back to you in some way or shape or form. There is no get around. You can mentally block it or like rationalize it, but things will catch up in some way or shape or form. So we really need to focus on having the trust. So what do you have to do? So you got to train yourself, be more competent. That whatever you do, if you can create the better product, better service, whatever, being competent, you become more trustworthy. And another thing is like you keep your word. And keeping your word, one thing is that it's better not to promise at all if you can, because like a lot of people, like a good-hearted people, try to do something good and then they overpromise, and then future changes, and then the people are quite unknown who they are, right? Somebody, and then just because you say something and then you feel like you're obligated because you have an integrity, but then one situation changes, it's no longer really a good idea to follow through that promise. But then if you don't do it, then you're a liar, right? So if you wanted to have a good integrity, rather than promise something, just do it. and or just do it without declaring something. And that's really important. It's better to listen, keep your mouth shut, and then do what you need to do, so that then none of this conundrum would happen. And good thing about trust is once you have this good trust, better people will approach you in life. And this is because having a good trust actually puts you into quite a not rigid, but then quite high standard, and have solid boundaries. Otherwise, you can't have that good trust. So what it does is, like, when you meet people, you will notice that who's gonna be at the same sort of like wavelength, having the same good common sense, good sense of the ethics, and so forth. So you will filter out the wrong type of people, or the people who are still, trying hard, but they're not your level, right? So that makes your life a lot better, right? Having keep trust as really leverage. Now, by doing so, you're gonna have a less, or you're gonna lie less, because it's a contradictory. Like, if you want to be trustworthy, and then you're not gonna take shortcuts or cutting corners unnecessarily, right? And you're not going to get into legal issues. You're not getting in trouble. So your life is getting a lot much better as well. And really, the trust is a very much like the foundation of your reputation, like a good reputation. And then if you have that, you really need to keep it as if your life depends on it. Just because people talk, or people have, before this, social media or all this, right? It's just a human nature to just gossip. So people talk, and people, a lot of things are bullshit, but then there is a little bit of a truth in it, and then you're gonna have quite a problems if you are untrustworthy. And if you do that, the trust will really, so you probably have to do a lot of things, but then eventually, you can just think of it as okay, whatever you do, you are fundamentally building the trust within yourself, right? You believe in yourself, and at the same time to the world. And that's really the essence of your success. So, but I'm not talking about one thing. A few things I want you to really careful about is people will take advantage of your trust if you're naive. And as I said, there's a lot of scammers do that type of things to damage other people. But I'm not talking about those type of too simplistic of trust. Yeah, just don't make this, don't become untrustworthy. I mean, that's really the bad things, with your attitude or your behaviors or things of nature. It's just once that trust is broken, whatever that is, generally speaking, it's no coming back. So just protect it. If something goes wrong, everybody make mistakes, just try to correct it, but then do it in a wiser, smart manner. Don't be too expose yourself, so to speak, because a lot of people wanted to take advantage of you, unfortunately, but then that's a reality. So that's but as long as you focus on that, then your life will really gets better. So yes, share your thought in the comment section to help each other, and like and subscribe to be part of our community. See you next time.